The Tim and Jenn Show.
Hello, my name is Tim Ryan. Welcome to another edition of the Tim and Jenn Show. I am sitting here with my amazing wife, co-host, business partner, and best friend.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Jimenez Ryan, and thank you everyone for tuning in today. We have an awesome guest, someone that is near and dear to myself. We have a lot of backstory.
We go back
16 years.
No, 17 years.
17
years.
17 years. And Tim has his own personal backstory.
Yeah, we built a relationship too, and he's sitting right next to us. So just let me talk a little bit about this gentleman. It's crazy that we're sitting here, and this is somebody from my generation is an icon in the acting world.
It's crazy. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're right. And I knew him before I met him because he's a huge actor. And then, we have this personal connection. And then today we're sitting there and we're going through his movies and stuff. And it really hit me like, fuck, he's a legend.
Yeah, he is absolutely a legend. Some of the movies, Born on the 4th of July, Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, Passenger 57, True Romance, Natural Born Killers, Strange Days, Heat, Pearl Harbor, Black Hawk Down, Saving Private Ryan.
Black Hawk Down. Oh, you said Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk Down. Tom Sizemore, how are you, Tom?
I'm good, thanks.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming to visit us.
Thank you so much, Tommy, for coming.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Huh?
I'm glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Fuck, Tom Sizemore sitting here.
I know.
17 years you guys have had a relationship.
We met in, I was in detox.
I was too.
Right to it. You and Jen met in detox.
Yeah, we met in rehab.
We met in rehab at Dr. Drew's, what was not Dr. Drew's place, it was called Las Encinas.
Yeah.
Las Encinas Hospital in Pasadena. It was, I went there because of Drew, but I had read about it when I read my first Marilyn Monroe biography. She used to go there to recuperate from, not necessarily, she never said she had a drug problem or anything, but she would go there to for depression or something. Mm-hmm. And then W.C. Fields lived there the last 20 some odd years of his life.
Yeah. And Clark Gable used to go there.
Gable was there.
They have the Gables on the side.
Now, did they live there as property or as patients?
Fields lived there the last 22 years of his life.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he was an alcoholic and he had a better chance of not drinking there. It wasn't a rehab. It was like a dry out. I don't know what they called them back then. It was like for the wealthy.
Oh yeah.
There's this one section. I mean, the land itself is so beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. There's this one place where back in the day they would go and do electric shock therapy. And our doctor, one of the doctors we had, Harasti, used to do that. And he would always threaten me to do that on me.
Are you sure they didn't do it?
He threatened to do it to me. You know what? I think he did do it to me.
Did you ever get put? Didn't they have something there called the cage? Did you ever get put in the cage?
We have a cage there.
Yeah.
Were you
I was telling him about it.
The cage? Yeah,
did you get to visit the cage?
I lived in the cage. Briefly.
So when I met Tom 2 or 3 years ago,
you could hang on. The cage is adjacent. It's connected to a place you could put you if you were misbehaving. So I was in that building. So yeah, I would recreate in the cage.
Yeah.
The misbehaving. But Tom and I were introduced to a friend, and we're meeting on a possible reality TV show we were talking about, and Tom doesn't know that I'm married to you. So Tom and I are at his house, and we're sitting outside on the patio, and we're talking for about an hour, and I said, "You do know who my wife is?" He said, "No." I said, "Jennifer Jimenez." And he goes, "Holy shit. How did you pull that one off?" I wanted to marry her. And he goes, "Let me tell you a story about Jennifer when we were in treatment together." Do you remember that story, Tom?
Of course.
Would you like to enlighten us on that, Tom?
Well, I told you a couple. Which one are you referencing?
When you wanted to marry her.
Which one now?
The hanging.
Oh, I'd rather not.
Why?
I'd rather not. You tell it.
Oh, should I tell it?
Go ahead.
So
I mean, people who may not know this, that I, when I got sober, I ended up going to being in the psych ward.
You were struggling.
I was struggling.
Jen attempted to hang herself in the psych ward.
So people who may not.
I don't know why that's funny. That's not funny.
It is. Hold on. It is funny with the three of us.
She actually tried to hang herself.
You guys, I'm not trying to minimize this. The reason why we're laughing.
Minimize it?
Paul went over to the treatment center.
Is that if you don't have experiences with, being treatment centers and being an addict or active addiction or alcoholism, people do crazy shit and then they live to tell about it.
Yeah.
And then you laugh about it because we all relate to the insanity of it. So for those who don't know that, that's why we're laughing. We're not like trying to laugh at.
I never wanted to hang myself.
I had some bad days. I remember having to shoot up in my foot and missing and
you shot up in toilet water. What are you
try to smuggle girls in there? Only if they had dope, though.
I go to the bathroom. I'm working at this recruiting firm in Chicago, and I go in, and I'm going to go act like I'm taking a crap and shoot up dope, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot the bottle of water. I'm like, man, toilet water looks clean enough. I'll just use that.
Well, if you've been to prison, you learn how to deal with toilet.
Oh, absolutely. I've been to prison twice, Tom. But let me get back to the story. So Tom says, he goes, Jen's in the lobby in this like white outfit, and she's coming out of trying to hang herself, and she's fucking drooling.
It's called a straight jacket.
I thought she looked kind of sexy.
She's drooling. She's got shit all over, and Tom goes,
better in a straight jacket than anybody else in that treatment center.
Tom goes, you tried to hang yourself? She goes, yeah. He goes, you're my type of chick. I want to marry you.
Meanwhile, I can't speak. I'm
serious.
like stuttering.
I was still in detox, though. I wasn't thinking real clear.
I'm literally shitting myself straight.
Jesus Christ. And Sizemore's wanting to fucking bang you out. Good job, Tommy.
You're my kind of chick, bitch.
What was the other thing?
You're my kind of chick, bitch. I want to marry you.
I just remember talking so when I look at you, I just go, oh my God, like you were my rebirth. You were there the day I fucking had this rebirth. And life has been such a trip and it has been so hard at times. But I look at you and I want to cry because you are so important to me. And I don't even know if I ever told you that, like how important you really are.
I was so important you married this prick.
I mean, we went at it. We loved each other. We hated each other. We went through, we cried together. We got angry. I mean, we went through so many emotions in that early recovery. And
well, I had a crush on you. I did.
Did Tom torment you in treatment?
I tried.
A little bit, yeah.
She wasn't giving it up. She wasn't coming across with the midnight visits.
What was the other?
One day, I mean, so my main doctor had me loaded. I mean, I was on 1,500 milligrams of Seroquel alone just to walk around. Forget all the other medications. I'm no longer on them. But
that shit.
I'm sitting there drooling, and all you can see is drool and my white my Depends and my white nightgown thing, and there's a lot of people in the room at the house that we were in. And he's like, hey, and I'm drooling and I look at him because I can't talk. I'm lethargic. And I'm looking at him and not lethargic. I'm just completely out of it. And
the Seroquel's like having a wet sweater over your face.
Yeah, basically. And he's like, it's a great day. And I'm looking at him, trying to talk to him through my eyes. And he's like, yeah, look around the sun. And I'm looking, so drool and just my eyes are looking around. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's beautiful. You can feel the heat and stuff. He's like, it's nice here. And I kind of nod and you're like, yeah. And you're like, get used to it because this is your motherfucking life. You are one who flew over the cuckoo's nest. And you're like, get used to this. And I'm just, all you see is tears and drool,
You weren't coming across with those midnight visits. I was punishing you.
I gotta tell you, you made me want to fight for the first time in my life.
You want to fight me?
No, but just fight to prove that I wasn't going to be that girl. And then, here I am.
We had some maniacs in there. You weren't even the craziest. Remember that one chicken went crazy? The little skinny girl that was your roommate?
Yes.
And don't name names. Don't name names.
And yes, that was crazy gangster. I walked in, there was fucking needles and blood up in the ceiling.
Oh, no, this chick. Oh. I don't know how she got all that dope in there, but she missed. And oh my goodness,
Tim, it was disgusting.
It looked like a slaughterhouse.
Yeah,
I went over and looked at it.
When I
liked her too after she was done.
my office in my home, I used to shoot a lot of dope in. And I looked up at the ceiling one day, and there's from trying to clear out the rig to, to get jammed, and blood all
I know what you're talking
over
about.
the ceiling. Yeah. So let's get back to some other things. Tom,
We're not glorifying this either.
No, we're not glorifying, but you got to understand.
Many moons ago.
We've all walked through some great times, which we'll get into, but a lot of trials and tribulations, unfortunately, due to addiction, some mental health issues. I liked to floor it for a long time, and consequences didn't affect me until I ended up in prison a few times. Then they started
How many times did you go to prison?
Twice. Number of county jails.
How long was it? How long was your longest term?
Time behind, they gave me 7 years, but the way they ran it, I got 3, 3, and 1, so I got to do the top number. 13 and a half months was my longest stretch, but that was enough. Oh, not bad. See, do you hear that? Oh, not bad. Not a bad deal. What's your longest stretch? Tommy,
I was supposed to go 16 with half, but I ended up doing, I think it was 25. I was supposed to do 9 months, basically. It was like a turnaround.
Right.
But I got more time in there for fighting.
So you did 25 months.
Mm-hmm. Fighting, and then sexually acting out with my girlfriend when she visited me.
Oh. Was this in county here?
No. It was in a Pleasant Valley State Prison. They claimed that I had my finger in her. Beep.
So do you have you have a number? Do you know your number? Like I'm R68915.
F54181.
There you go.
F54181.
What's your number?
You can't forget those.
675-309.
What's your number? 36, 24, 36. That's like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Tom, raised in Detroit, big family. You're a big athlete. You're a hell of an athlete.
I was a good athlete. Yeah, I was. Really good athlete. I still am. Well, football's in the car, isn't it?
Oh God, he's
football's in the car.
Still thinking he's going to play
Football's in the
quarterback.
car.
Football's always with you. You've always
Tom,
got a
you're
football.
like one of the
around.
smartest people, by the way, that I've ever met in my life. This man is brilliant. Not only are you like brilliant and talented, like you're so talented, you're a brilliant actor, but now you're talking about like sports and you're brilliant at that.
What was your favorite sport? Football? By far.
Football, yeah. Football, I mean, there's just nothing like it.
College, did you play ball?
I could have played college football, but I blew out my knee.
So, blew out your knee. How the hell did you end up getting into acting?
It's a complicated story. It's not really that complicated. When I tore my knee apart, it was badly injured, so I had a lot of pins in it and stuff, and so part of the physical therapy, the rehab was I was floundering, so they got the idea that I should maybe go to my coach said maybe you should go to the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater in New York. It's actually called the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater of Harlem, and rehab your leg. He had gone to college with him and had talked to him. So I know, so he had spoken to him already. So he said, I've already spoken to him. And I was like, what? Go where? Do what? I was like, I'm going to still play football. I'm going to, if I can't play football with my leg, I'm going to play baseball. I mean, I was in denial that maybe I'd hurt myself where I couldn't play competitive sports anymore at a high level. So moved to New York, and it was like, I'm in Michigan.
That's a culture shock.
Yeah. So he knew me well. He thought that I needed to get out of there where a lot of my, I was reminded all the time of like what I was used to be, and what I was, at 19 I had my whole life was torn. Like my initial plans for the next 4 years to play college football, and
all taken away like that.
Gone like that.
One injury. That's same happened to me in competitive skiing. Yeah.
Injury. So I went there, and so I liked it when I got there. There was a lot of interesting people, dancers.
It's another podcast.
A lot of interesting dancers. So I walked in, and I was with my mother and him, and I went, like I was there like 5 seconds. I went, this is going to work, I think. Is going to work. And so I was 19, and so I started to do that, and I got asked to be in a play, and then I did a play called Indian Wants the Bronx off Broadway by Israel Horovitz off Broadway at circle in a square, and boom.
Bam.
Wait, how long after did you get that you got to New York, did you get your play?
It was all really fast. You know, it was, everything was, I was a working actor in 18 months.
Wow.
And when I got there, I didn't know I wanted to be an actor.
But you know, it's
Wow.
interesting whether it's
I had a very fortuitous beginning, and for 18 years. I mean, plays, starring in plays, you know.
so in high school, were you a thespian? And
I did one play in high school, The Music Man, and then I did right after that I did a play that summer at the War Memorial in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, and I did a play called Bye Bye Birdie. I played Conrad Birdie, and because I guess I could sing a little bit. I could act like Elvis, you know. I liked Elvis, and that's what the play was about, Elvis. And until I got in trouble, you know, it was just like, it was like a, you know, I didn't ever.
So when did you move out?
I didn't have that struggle. I didn't go through that
the pain of trying to make it. You didn't.
Painful actor struggle at all, really. I mean, maybe for 7 months.
Kind of same thing happened to you too. I mean,
You know,
you
relatively
you
quickly.
stumbled into becoming a supermodel, and then you wanted to get away from that and get into acting. And I mean, the first movie she was in was directed by Chet Baker. It was on Chet Baker.
It was directed by Bruce Weber.
Bruce Weber, but on Chet
Get
Baker,
Lost?
she was in that.
Let's go. I know that.
I can't believe
Damn,
you said that.
very good,
It was
Tom.
nominated. My first movie was
I know
was
that
nominated.
documentary really well. My dad would, and I am a Chet Baker fanatic.
Wow.
So, what was the Chet Baker story in the elevator?
It starts out with Fleas walking on Venice
Yep.
Beach.
Oh my gosh.
Fleas walking on Venice Beach, and Lisa Marie's in it,
Mm-hmm.
who I fell in love with later. Who was
She married Tim Burton.
she married Tim Burton.
Well, hold on. She was in it too, so that's subconsciously where you probably started
Were you in the
stalking
car
my
with him?
wife.
I was in the bumper cars. I was in the bar when they're playing. I'm with I have really short
Were
hair
you in the
like
Mexican
Tim.
restaurant? When he goes-
Yes.
you
How
were in the
old were
Mexican
you at
restaurant?
the time, though?
13.
You were she
she
was
had to be
13
young.
years
But
old.
I'm smoking
Oh.
cigarettes with men and like it's.
I don't recall you, but I'm sure if I saw it, I mean, I've seen it.
You would
probably,
s- you would know.
I've seen it like 50 times.
I can't believe that.
That's cool.
Like 50
That
times.
is
I'm gonna
so-
cry right now. No one's ever said that.
I've seen it like 50 times.
Holy crap!
He's
yeah.
my favorite musician.
So I get discovered by Bruce Weber probably 6 weeks prior. I'm working with Bruce every single day, and he goes, "You're my girl now. You're going to stay with me. We're going to shoot this movie." And I was like, "Okay." So we're at the Shangri-La. That's where I stayed.
That's where Chet stayed too.
Yeah, and so we're shooting that night. It's like 3, 4 in the morning. We're in Santa Monica Pier in the bumper cars, and there's a scene with Chet, his girlfriend, and myself, and I just keep hitting them and stuff, and we're just laughing. I'm a kid, and we're done. It's 3 in the morning. We're at the elevator. My mom's there with me and his girlfriend, and so he goes and presses it. I'm standing behind him. He gets in. He goes, "Come in." So I come in and I look
Who
at
said
him.
that, Chet?
Chet. And I look at him, and it was like as time stood still, and I'm this close to him, and all I could see is his eyes, and they were these
Were they
piercing,
still really blue and pretty?
beautiful. And he was wrinkled,
Because his face was really messed up.
just gone. And I was in his eyes, and I was in his soul. Like I grabbed on, and I didn't understand that I knew him, and he knew me.
Hope there's a lot of attitude around here. I hope I don't get one. I feel all that attitude around here.
So
Let's hope I don't get one.
But then he kills
I gotta
himself.
watch
Old
this.
junkie. Huh?
But then he kills himself, right?
He didn't
During
kill
the
him.
end-
He fell off the balcony in Cannes.
yeah.
They don't know if he killed himself or not. He fell from the 7th story. He could have been. He was very much a junkie. He could have
Yeah.
just fallen off the. He could have fallen off the. You think he killed himself?
I don't know. I can't.
It was the first time he had money in a number of years.
Yeah.
I don't think he
I mean,
killed
he was
himself.
a mess. I know he was a mess during cons. I know that. But I'll
Because
tell
Bruce
you,
was trying to keep his money from him. I know Bruce Weber well
You
now.
do?
Yeah, I've taught all about this movie with him. He had to keep. Chet, we only go, Bruce said you can only go to Cannes if you're on methadone. I can't have you in Cannes on heroin, and Chet didn't want to do that. But Bruce said it's either that or nothing. So he took it. But when they got there, Chet was so obstinate and so uncooperative that they ended up having to give him some to give him cooperate and do the publicity and do the press.
Yeah.
And then he fell off that hotel balcony.
So crazy.
Is this crazy
Yeah.
that Thomas knows Bruce Weber and knew Jeff?
So what? It's really insane having this conversation with you. What I had realized probably a good 10 years ago is that because I was thinking about like that experience. I'm like, why do I keep remembering that? It's because I knew him because we knew each other because we suffer from the same. I got him, but I was only 13. I didn't know. It was like I got into his soul and I understood what my future was going to be.
Did you hear him play the trumpet?
Yes, I did. I'm so honored.
He's the greatest trumpet player to ever live, I think.
Ever. I'm
And the
so
greatest
honored.
and the greatest jazz singer, male singer ever.
Ever.
I think.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Wow,
too.
that's amazing.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
No one does My Funny Valentine better than him.
You just love to watch stuff.
To know what he knows though about.
You've seen it, haven't you, Javon?
Bigger.
He's out of sight, isn't he?
Really.
How cool.
That's so insane. I mean, it's like to say it to people, they don't even get like, that's my first movie. Like, you know,
Well,
like,
you didn't even know it till after. And
yeah,
because
until
then,
10 years ago.
And the point I was making was, you know, Tom's not saying it was easy, but he kind of stumbled into it and he has the gift. Tom, when I met Tom, and I'm not saying this, he's smart, he's charismatic, he can be a dick. No, well, we all can. But he's a very intelligent person.
He's very
and knowledgeable, in depth on stuff that just makes my head spin. But you got Blow. You know, you're what, 20 years old, 21 when you did Blow, and you both blow through the roof.
And literally.
But you both, you know, amassed millions and millions of dollars and both squandered it away and both got into the. What was it for you, Tom, when, you know, you started making money as an actor and you're getting all these movies, big fucking movies, not little.
Well, I made a lot of money. I was, you know, making a few $1 million a movie. Pretty quick.
I mean, and you've worked with some of the best of the best.
It seemed totally normal.
I was going to ask you, like the next one was like, this is what I should be doing.
I never even thought I could deserve.
It came.
I was a star athlete. I was
It was normal.
little star kid.
It's normal.
What was
I get what you're saying. It is normal. It is normal.
Well, it's like what I do for a living, and it just either have it or you don't.
And I got such positive reinforcement right away in my acting from the people I was working with. You know, Oliver Stone. These weren't lightweights. These were you know, Ridley Scott, Michael Mann, and the people Robert Downey Jr., Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis, Wesley Snipes, my co-star.
De
De Niro.
That was later, but in the very beginning, you know.
In the beginning, those were people you were working with.
Robert and Heart and Soul.
Tom Hanks.
That was later, but always, you know, very high caliber people. You know, so it wasn't.
And you got to have your A game on because.
Or do you?
Or do you just go do you,
Tom?
No,
I don't. I have to have my A game on. I work hard.
I always, you know, when a couple years.
But was that already in you? Because some people are like, I can't do it. You have to be trained.
Memorizing. I mean, just to memorize, how much?
I'm sure it's easy for him.
Memorize. I did a lot of plays. Memorizing. Memorizing a large. I did Iago. You know, it's the second largest part in Shakespeare. Hamlet's the longest, 1,800 lines, and Iago has, I think, 1,412, and Rosalind's the third, 1,200. And
spit some. Let's go.
That Cassio loves her, I do well believe it. That she loves him, 'tis apt and of great credit the more. Howbeit that I adore him not, as of a constant loving noble nature, I dare think he'll prove to Desdemona a most dear husband. Now I do love her too, not out of absolute lust, though peradventure I stand accounted for as great a sin, but partly led to diet my revenge. For that I do suspect the lusty Moor hath leaped into my seat, the thought whereof like a poisonous mineral gnaw my inwards, and nothing can or shall content my soul, till I'm even with him, wife for wife.
Wow.
That's badass.
That's amazing.
Yay,
That is
yay.
amazing.
You know, so the reason
I've done that 25 years ago. I haven't done it since.
Well, here's the reason, because
no matter where.
I got to go back to prison.
That's insane.
But I'm in a therapeutic community in prison, and one thing you had to learn was this poem to get out of your Smurf jump outfit. You had to wear it for months to get normal clothes. You had to memorize. So it's like, here's no refuge. But it was like 10 lines. It took me 45 days to memorize that.
10 lines?
45 days. You think that's funny, you little rat bastard? I just don't, I can't, I'm
I mean, to quote Shakespeare is pretty amazing.
That's really amazing. So one of the things Jen and I were talking about earlier.
That ain't shit. I can do almost all of Hamlet.
What?
I can do almost all of Hamlet. I know like the whole part. I
Wow.
remember it from doing it.
That's unbelievable.
Do you like doing theater or movies better?
Movies.
TV shows or movies?
Movies.
What is it? What is it about that you like?
You have more time. It changes. You know, do it for 3 months, 2 months, and then you're on to another one.
Was it weird? Obviously, we did Sober House together, and he was on Celebrity Rehab. Was it weird for you to do? For those who don't know that, was it weird for you to do a reality show once it came
No, because
out?
it was a little weird, but it wasn't weird because they didn't. It was real reality. There was no going back and doing it over again.
That's one of the things I
It was
told
just
everybody.
straight. It was just like this is what people saw. That was the way it was.
Well, let's
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me say. Everybody always asks, "Was that scripted? Was
None of it was
Housewives?"
scripted.
And I'm like, these people, everyone deserves an Oscar. First of all, if it's scripted, but like you're talking about people who are fighting for their lives. Their brain is literally
Nothing
telling them
was scripted.
they don't know if they want to live or
we never
die.
went back and did something a second time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was really funny, or that was really, that was really moving. Let's do that.
What
again.
was it like
Yeah.
for you though, Tom? However you, Dr. Drew or whatever, reached out and you're going to the sober house, finding out that the lady you were in treatment with 2.5 years earlier is now running the house.
I was glad. I was thinking maybe I could.
Always got that ulterior motive, huh?
By the way,
the little head instead of the big one.
so what people don't know in Sober House, there was like
Then I got
probably
involved with
5
Carrie
minutes.
Ann. I got involved with Carrie Ann, so I was pleased. But you guys went.
I kicked her out, yeah.
You guys went to loggerheads.
Yeah, I mean, she did steal my phone and was using.
She
and
wasn't. She was a wreck.
She hated me.
She was a wreck.
She was a hot
So what's the
mess.
one thing you
When she threw
remember?
water in Shelly's face.
Oh my God. And then she kept asking me to go get her juice. And I didn't know about the juice
we
thing.
watched this
And I was
recently.
like, I will never get you juice.
She called you the worst names. It was terrible.
I had to have
I was seeing her. I was like, you have to behave. What are you doing? She's a nice. She was
they had
so
to bleep
angry.
it all out because at one point,
Oh, she
her
was
and
terrible.
Heidi had said so many hard things about me that it was literally considered a terrorist threat at that point.
Heidi was amping her up, and Heidi was.
And Mike Starr. She was like
Heidi
feeding
was
them to
stirring
like,
yeah, she stirred the pot the whole time
he was good at that.
with Mike and with her
Yeah.
and with me. Ultimately, I lost my temper. In there.
What's one thing you remembered that helped you in life from Sober House? That I got to leave, go home? Anything that you actually remember learning?
Yeah, like when Mike and I got into that argument, that really bad fight.
Oh, yeah.
That before it got physical, Drew arrived because it was about to get physical, but that Drew said, okay, you guys had a bad moment, but nothing bad has happened because you guys stopped. We stopped before he got there, really. But when he got there, it was nothing was going to happen.
Right.
That you could do something shitty, but as long as you don't hit somebody or shoot somebody, or you could want to use all day, but as long as you don't use, you're good.
You're good. Amen.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. I mean, you're talking about
You can think about doing these things a lot, but if you don't do them, you're
First
still
thought,
okay.
second thought, just don't act
this
on
is
it.
Drew, who loves each and one of the people that are there and has really like a tight
I talked
relationship.
to Drew the other day,
You did.
Drew's
I love it.
awesome.
2 days ago.
I mean, you have such a
He's in
strong
France.
connection.
He's in France.
Yeah.
He is. To see him, first of all, for him to show up, he did like 15 different jobs and then was doing Love Line and then coming in at
Well, he
midnight.
came over. Mike
It
and I
was-
were fighting at like 1:15 in the morning.
Yeah, and I'm saying and it's
He
like
drives all
you
the way there
understand-
from Pasadena.
People don't understand this was going on
24/7.
all night long, all the time, and you just want to make sure that they're all safe, and they're gonna explode. They're gonna,
You're gonna, and you're seeing.
I'm gonna explode. I mean,
I
that
think
was
the
so
difference
shit.
is you're seeing the raw reality of detoxing or getting
Well,
sober,
and-
but it just gets escalated because you have celebrities doing it.
Yeah. In my celebrity rehab class, whatever you want to call it, my cast, we have 3 dead people.
How does that? I wanted to ask you when you were talking about Mike. How does that affect you that these people you were close to have died? And I mean, you've lost a lot of friends from those shows, or
I've lost other friends too, but I've lost a couple of good friends. Those were people that I could, especially Mike. Losing Mike was really difficult, and of course, it was 2010. We lost him in 2011. We lost him right after the show. I really thought Mike was gonna make it. You know, Mike got better.
He did get better.
I mean, he didn't get better on the show, but then he stayed.
Right.
After he did Celebrity Rehab, then he did Sober House, but he didn't go home. He went right back to PRC, and stayed until he went to Salt Lake City, where he died.
Where he got a back injury or something, or was
he died from like 4 beers and 2 Xanax or something. The Xanax, because he hadn't done it in a long time.
See,
He didn't die from heroin or
No.
He didn't die from that.
I remember that. And it's weird because you're bringing up a lot of things that I just don't talk about, just because I haven't had the ability to really share about this stuff. But one thing about Mike Starr was we didn't get along on the show, and then we got along. I at one point felt it
Mike
was too much.
Angel.
He was an angel. He was too sick for the show. In the end, I realized that. I was only 2 years sober, 2.5 years sober. I didn't know better, but he chose to follow direction and go to PRC afterwards. And I'd pick him up and I'd take him to meetings at Las Encinas all the time. And I got to experience, I have the chills, moments with Mike that were so pure, and I got to see him happy and well. And people go, oh, don't you think, he died too? And it's like, well, I got to see him happy. He was happy in his life. There's a moment that he had that happiness. And it wasn't like he was seeking drugs to go relapse.
He drank 4 beers or 5 beers and had a Xanax or 2. And the combination and his weakened physical condition, because his system was still tore up, it killed him.
Oh, absolutely. The body just gets to a point. And
Mike was a terrible junkie for 18 years.
Yeah.
Shooting speed and shooting heroin on the daily for 18 years, basically. And
shooting with his father.
You really can't. You're tearing your body. He tore himself apart. He was in bad health. I knew that. He had told me, and then when he was there, he was going to the hospital, and he was oh my God. They told me my liver's shot, and this is shot, and Robin was in bad shape. Dennis had no, I shouldn't say that. I should excise that. The world doesn't need to know that Dennis has problems.
Don't worry. It'll get.
But my class had, our group had.
My class. I love he calls it class.
Was it Mindy? Not Mindy. It's
Yeah, Mindy McCready.
Mindy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough to take.
Mm-hmm. That was a sad one too. I mean.
And what did Joey die of? Cocaine overdose?
Mm-hmm. He was from the real world.
He wasn't. He was a cool kid.
Sweet kid. Broken.
So
Joey Corvo.
Yeah. Wait, but then we were in treatment, and it's public knowledge, with Jeff Conaway and Janie Lane, who
Jamie's dead.
Yeah, I mean, Janie was going to come to Celebrity Rehab season 6, and 2 days before that, he had died. I mean, it was just
Jamie's dead. Rodney's dead.
It's that's the reality of this. People.
How did Rodney die?
Rodney
King.
Alcoholism, drunk in pool. Yeah.
You were close with him.
I was really,
Yeah, I liked Rodney. Rodney was cool.
Rodney was amazing. Rodney taught me forgiveness.
Rodney was a cool dude, man. He really was.
What was share what Rodney had told you when you had asked him, Jen?
I just remember one time I was talking to him. I was like, Rodney, like seriously, do you hate these people, that the officers that hurt you? Like,
no.
I mean, if anyone, like you have,
he didn't hate them at all. I asked him the same thing.
He looked at me and he was like, I don't. I forgave them that day. I forgave them right away. And I looked at him and I'm like, this man that got beat so bad.
Rodney was a big teddy bear, man.
He was the softest
Everyone had him
heart.
all wrong.
They did have him wrong. He was the nicest guy. And they were like making stories because he came to PRC.
He was vulnerable.
Because he wanted to be
sweet.
on the show. And like, they were like, he broke in, people are doing these crazy stories, but like, they're trying to make Rodney King into a bad person. And honestly,
he wasn't a bad person.
The sweetest
Nothing bad
soul.
about him.
That one hurt so bad. I mean, Mike Starr really hurt too. I mean, they all hurt. They're never.
No, it's.
All those guys went before 45. That's way too soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we just, people are dropping like flies. They don't understand that the dope game today isn't what it was 10, 15, 20, 30.
There's more overdoses this year than any year prior.
Absolutely. It's all the fentanyl coming in, and I mean...
They're putting fentanyl in everything.
Everything.
Pretty soon it's going to be in coffee.
Coke, pills.
It's in
they're
everything.
pressing it. They're mixing
It's crazy because Michael, who I know you know well, was a friend of yours too, who recently passed. Him dying, people are like, oh my God, there's fentanyl. And it's like, oh my God, where the fuck have you been? Wake the fuck up.
We've been talking
fentanyl,
about this for
I see
years.
people dying left and right every single day for a good 8-9 years from fentanyl.
Isn't that funny? Jen has the dog. She's kind of the dog
all the time.
whisperer.
Yeah,
She
I
wants
am.
to go
For the
there.
people listening, Tom brought his
Dog?
beautiful dog here,
She's
Kendra.
Kendra. Hi,
she loves me.
Kendra.
I'm like the
Okay,
dog.
I want to get back to a question. You're on the set. What is it like a day in the life when you were filming Private Ryan? With the amount of people you're working with, the talent, but there was a lot of people on set filming that show.
Oh yeah, it was.
Well, I mean, what's a day in the life of it
400
like?
people on the set, 400 crew members, like 350 or something. Steven is incredibly organized. I mean, yeah, we usually had a really early call, like 6 o'clock, 6:30, and we worked until it was dark. Generally speaking, we worked anywhere between 12 to 14 hours. You work from 6 to 6 or 6 to 8, and you know, if you see that movie, everybody's in every scene.
Yeah.
You know, until the end. So I worked 58 consecutive days. We had one day off a week. So 58, 6 days and 1 day off, 6 days, 1 day off. And it was a 58-day shoot. So you're just tired.
Oh yeah.
All you want to do is go home and go take a shower and get in bed. That's all I would do. There was no hanging out, fucking around on that.
You're there to work.
You couldn't. You wouldn't be able to work. Because it was hard work too. You're walking and running up the beaches and
When
shit.
you're going into a movie like that, do you, and Jen, I'll ask you this too, because you've been in a number of movies. Do you ever go into a movie going, yeah, this son of a bitch is going to go? Or is it not like that until it's...
Well, it was hard. It was hard with Steven and Tom. I think this is...
Yeah, it's not...
After shooting D-Day. D-Day, we opened with that D-Day sequence. We shot that first.
Wow.
That's first 28 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
We shot that first in Ireland before, and then we shot there for 18 days, and then we went to London and shot the rest of there. So as wonderful as in the movie, it was you couldn't tell it was that wonderful when we were doing it, but you could see the all the extras and the bombs, and Steven was 6 cameras running it, but it was quite something to watch and watch him do it, watch Steven do it, because he's the only person who knows exactly what's going on. Each guy who's working a camera knows what he's shooting, but Steven knows what everyone's shooting. He had 9 cameras going sometimes.
Wow.
I mean,
on the beach sequences,
it's just hard to wrap your mind around.
People don't understand the cameras
the amount of
either, what
people-
that looks like, and like and the
these cameras are swooping down. It was something
I
else.
can remember when, all I did was have a documentary on A&E for 45 minutes. But I can remember one of the guys, Terry, he films on that show up in Alaska. He's just won 4 Emmys or whatever.
Deadliest Catch.
But the camera he had, I said, Jesus. I mean, he's got this massive thing in the back of my truck because they're filming in it. So what's something like that run? He's like, that's 150,000 right there. I'm like, just for this one camera. But I couldn't imagine what these things cost.
Well, that was before the digital thing happened, and now you can get a good digital red camera for like $22,000.
Come on.
No shit.
Totally changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's totally changed.
The landscape.
And you can actually shoot a movie. I've heard. I don't know if you can. I know you have to be skilled with your iPhone.
Oh,
yeah, that's I've heard Peter and some
one
other
of the shows, reality shows, they had filmed through COVID with their iPhones.
Yeah, a few of them. I can't even explain though what I wasn't even on the set where Tom was, what he was going through and his experience on a show like Saving Private Ryan. Like I was in Rome when they were shooting Gangs of New York and watching the action scenes of so many people. You're just like, oh my God, I'm sitting there with Marty, like watching this. I couldn't even imagine what it was like watching you do your thing. And like, I remember you so vividly in that movie.
Who do you, go ahead.
What's your favorite movie of all movies?
That I've been in?
Or role you played, yeah.
Natural Born Killers and Black Hawk Down.
Why?
Well, Natural Born Killers because it was
That's a badass
I just loved the part. I love the part, and it was a great experience. I caught Oliver Stone, I think, at his best. He was in his element there, and Woody and were all young, and Juliet, and I had met each other, and we were together for a couple of years, and started on that movie. It was my first big lead in a really important movie, and Robert was my best buddy at the time. We had just done Heart and Souls together the previous year, and we hung out all the time. So, and then we got cast in that together, which was just fortuitous. It wasn't that Oliver didn't know we were friends, and it was just a summer in 1993. It was just a nice time.
That's badass. And Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk Down Ridley is well, I had a cousin, Doug Sizemore. He's actually in the movie, who was there that day, October 3rd, 1993.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Who was a ranger. Yeah, so I knew I had a first-hand experience of it because he was wounded too, and so it touched our family, that incident, which is odd, but it was Morocco, and Ridley's a different kind of, he's Scottish. It was just a lot of fun. I don't know, it was a great part. Oh, and I played a real guy. That was what great about it. Colonel McKnight. I spent 3 months with him before I did the movie.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is that like, spending 3 months with someone, getting to know them to portray them?
It's hard to explain.
I mean,
It's a lot of pressure.
It's
No, he was cool. I mean, I didn't do an impression of him. I just got his. I tried to capture his. Like, that's the reason I didn't duck in the movie. If you remember, one of the things my character does, he doesn't duck, he doesn't run. Everyone jumps under him, and he just like
stands there.
And that's what McKnight was like.
Right.
I asked him about that because his guys told me that, he was the young guys. He was older than them. I was older than those guys. McKnight was like 35 when the incident happened. I was 39 when I did the movie, and those kids are 18, 19-year-olds. And he was famous with these young grunts for his fearlessness, but it really wasn't fearlessness. It was I asked him what it was about and why did he do it like that, and he said well, he was very, very religious and believed in God really resolutely, and he thought his when you're born, your ticket's already plucked up, so it's already been predetermined what's going to happen. So why duck? You can duck into your bullet. Why run? You could run into your bullet. Just take your time. Take your time. And also, those kids are looking at you. He's the leader. He said, "Look, Tom, if I show any fear out here for a split second, they're going to see it, and they're going to throw their guns down, as well trained as they are, and run and ask for their mom, because they're looking at me. I get them to go forward." That's how it works here. That's what we're doing here. It's a buddy system.
Absolutely.
So,
Who were some of your, who took you under their wing as an actor and mentored you? Or who's just someone that, you're like, son of a bitch, they really helped me get to that next plateau, or believed in me when?
Well, no one really did it like, hey, I'm going to be your mentor. It's just, it was of being friends. De Niro and Michael Mann. I spent a lot of time with them and talking shop and, about the craft and whatnot.
If there, and you don't have.
Do you love still speaking about the craft? And
Oh yeah, I'm starting to teach an acting class soon.
you are.
In like 6 weeks, I start my first class.
Has it been hard for you in the last year and a half with COVID and everything, like all the shutdown and not being able to be part of?
Yep, it's hard. Everyone's shut in. And I took it seriously. I still take it seriously. I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't. This Delta variant's serious. I got the vaccine. I'm vaccinated, and I got COVID afterwards.
So that just happened
My
to
best
a friend
friend,
of her best friend in Florida, where we just were.
It's called a breakthrough or something. What do they call it? Breakthrough infection.
Same thing happened to her.
Okay, I got the Pfizer. I got March 14th and April 3rd was my second dose, and I got the virus 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had it a
I
year
was
ago.
down for 10
and it
days. I was
almost
down for
killed
10
us.
days. I had 2 horrible days.
I'm so sorry.
Gulping. I woke up gulping for air. That's when I knew I was sick.
I wouldn't wish this shit on anybody.
No,
I really
it's scary. When you talk about it, I know it so well. I remember it so well. Do you find yourself, like I was telling Tim this, and it's hard because he doesn't understand all the time, and I don't expect him to, but I really miss a creative aspect right now in my life. Like the last year and a half, it's not like we've been able to do a lot of, I can't do the things that I used to do work-wise. And it's not just work. It's, I think, a lot of things, but I find myself battling with depression. And just for moments, because I know how to get myself out of it. You know, before it would be days on end, but have you felt any of that stuff recently?
I don't really get depressed. I just been lethargic, just staying locked in. You know, I don't get I wouldn't say I know what depression is. I can be depressed really easy. I would say that I'm disposed to depression in a lot of ways, so I don't go there.
Good.
I do things that help me not go there.
He doesn't either. Like, but I think it's how we were
I call
brought
Tom.
up.
I get depressed. I call Tom.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a laugh.
I'll exercise. I'll do something. I'll go to the football. I just don't go there.
Like, it's interesting because I tell Tim, my
There's nothing
fear.
worse than being depressed.
No, my fear, like
about-
I
just
go into
about nothing
survival
else.
mode. Like, you never
they're neck and
worry
neck.
about-
They're neck and neck.
Yep.
You never worry about I worry about finances 6 months from now. Like, I worry because I had to do it on my own. Like,
I don't worry about
so,
money. I don't worry about money. I had millions of dollars and I had no money. And
Yeah,
I just don't worry about
but
it.
it's our bringing
It
up.
comes.
The way we
Yeah.
were brought up was different. Like, the things that I can cope with or didn't have coping skills with were totally different than yours. And it's interesting that you don't have that. It's really
Well,
awesome to hear.
But what else happens too is we didn't come from wealthy family. You're a middle class family. I was middle class. You're middle class. You know, I stumbled into
Working class poor, really.
Yeah, and we were dirt poor. I can remember eating shit on a shingle, or you're lucky to get grilled cheese and that bullshit tomato soup. I'll never eat that shit.
Shit on a shingle, is that
Chip
bologna?
beef on toast.
Chip beef on toast?
Chip beef on toast, or you could use Spam or bologna. Yeah,
We use
totally
Spam.
Yeah.
Spam ain't bad.
but here's the
Spam
point.
is bad.
Spam wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad if you
We're
cook with the
not
right
going
stuff.
to do
Where was I
Spam.
from? Like, Wisconsin?
But here's the deal.
Spam wasn't
okay,
bad.
you two, stop.
Spam is
We
bad.
both-
A little sour cream.
all three of us
Whipped cream.
got it. We all have made lots of money, but we've all then lost it and had it again. But it makes, in our ages, I think, you know, I look at things differently than I did at 20 or 30, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
God, I wish.
I just don't. Money's gonna come. It's just.
My-
What are you gonna worry about it for?
Yeah, it's a waste of
You're
time.
right. You're right.
It really,
Instead of worrying about it, try to make it.
yeah, 99% of the shit you worry about never comes true anyhow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's on the horizon, Tom? What would be the ideal, if you get to do that ideal role that you could pick, write, direct out, what would it be doing?
I'm gonna do the Jack Dempsey story and play it. Well, I'm too old to play Jack now. I'd like to play Jack Dempsey when he opens his restaurant in New York.
Interesting.
That period of Americana. I've always wanted to play Jack Dempsey, or I'd like to play. I'd like to do Richard III on Broadway.
Really?
Wow.
That would be amazing.
That'd be really great.
Go ahead, Jen. Is there a genre of years when you're an actor or actress that I like to really play stuff from the early 1900s to the 50s to 60s, or is that all irrelevant?
I think whatever you.
No, that's irrelevant.
Okay. Well, I just got shut the fuck down by Tom Sizemore.
No.
No, that's totally fucking irrelevant. Thanks.
Do you?
Appreciate it. I'll go fuck myself right now.
Is that what you want? Do you want to just keep acting? I mean, what is it like? Where do you see it in the next 10 years, ideally?
I just want to act. I want to act, direct, and teach. That's it. But that's what I
God,
do.
if you could teach, it would be so incredible for someone to get the knowledge, just a
Yeah, I'm gonna
couple
teach.
things
I'm gonna
that
teach.
you have.
I'm going to teach. I am going to teach.
I would take your class in a heartbeat.
I'm starting a class. In 6 weeks, 7 weeks it starts.
I will take
Santa
it.
Monica.
I'll take it.
Harvell's. It's the biggest nightclub down there. He gave me the space.
They did.
Yeah, it's got a stage. Bands play. It's bomb. It's right in the middle of Santa Monica.
Do you ever get intimidated
By what?
working with people still?
Oh no.
But you're like really shy.
Huh?
You're really shy in real life.
Yeah, I guess so.
Until they get to know you. Until they get to know you. Until he's not.
But I really love acting, so it's always fun for me. You know, I really get a kick out of it. So I look forward to doing it. So it's not. It's probably how Tom Brady feels about playing quarterback. You know, he's not nervous out there. You know, he wants to play quarterback. 44, 24, 34. He just wants to play quarterback.
Absolutely. That's like you. See, what happened to you, Jen, once you got out of modeling, acting, but then once you got sober and did the reality, then you got into speak, you kind of went away from it.
Well, I put
the
it on
past
hold.
few years, and then got it all coming back, and it got shit. I think you need to get back and focus on the acting.
Well, absolutely.
Probably.
I mean, but I feel it recently, but I feel that it's interesting having a conversation with you because you, like, honestly, like, your legacy is so important. Like, your legacy is so powerful, not only in what you do for a living, but
I got
what you've done for other people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at this thing here alone. How many movies have you been in, Tom?
I don't know.
Over 100, way plus. But I mean, if you go look up Tom's Wikipedia, whatever, and just look at, these are iconic movies. I mean, we're not just sitting here with some little, no, I'm serious.
Yeah, but I even think about like Tom, like Private Tom, like in treatment at Las Encinas, as divulging
let's
our
get
things.
back to that.
And going back to there, like everyone loved Tom, like all the doctors, all like Bob Ford. I mean, like Tom does this thing where like your connection with him, you really believe you're the only human being in the world at that moment. And that like he really does get you and you get him, for that moment that you're having this conversation with him. And that's a great and incredible ability. I only know very few people in the world that have that ability, and you're one of them. Yeah, honestly.
I'm not trying to do it.
It's who you are. It's who you are.
Bob's easy. Bob's fascinating.
Bob's incredible.
Yeah.
You're fascinating.
Stop, Tim. Stop.
You are fascinating.
You are,
My
Tom.
friend, stop it. Is someone going to watch this shit?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to listen to it. Going to listen to it and watch it. And we'll
My
do
ass
more.
is getting tired.
That's okay.
Yeah, my back.
We'll wrap this up.
We'd love to have you to come back. I know. What the fuck happened?
I don't.
What
it's-
happened? I'm like, oh my God, I
ass
gotta
is tired.
stretch.
No, it's
And
like
warm.
I saw him. No,
It
it's
is warm.
It's good.
My ass is
So-
warm. My ass is hot.
Tom, we love you. We
I
thank
love you from the bottom of my heart.
you
You know
too.
that.
And thank you for.
You were such a great teacher for me back in the day, and I want to thank you for that.
Ditto.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love you forever.
Oh, say that. Hold on. Say that again, Tom.
The
What?
book was inspiring to me.
My book was inspiring. Thank you. Tim Ryan from Dope to Hope, available on Amazon. Purchase it. I make $6. Hurry up.
So I want to thank you. I want to have you come back. Will you come
absolutely.
back on?
Absolutely, I'll come back on.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I always feel weird. Like, it's kind of like what my mom said about like leaving. I always end really weird and abruptly. If people want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you? And
Here, I'll give out his cell phone. No, I'm only joking.
How can they get a hold of me?
How can they follow
Social-
you? Instagram, Facebook,
Oh, Instagram or Facebook.
Tom Sizemore?
It's Tom Sizemore on Instagram, and on Facebook it's Tom Sizemore.
Awesome.
Tom Sizemore on Instagram, and just Tom Sizemore. It's there's a couple pages though, but one's my personal page. You can tell.
Yeah.
you've always been transparent, not only as an actor, but someone who was on Sober House and Sober Rehab, and you were so raw and real. And I want to thank you for allowing people to feel with you through the years. I really do. I want to thank you for being part of that movement, and sharing a piece of your life so other people can connect and feel they're not the only ones going through any experience.
Well, and for fucking entertaining me for the past 30 years of my life.
Well, thanks. Thank you both. That's enough flattery. That's enough.
It really is. You
Thanks
can
for
come
being
over
the
and cut
soul
my
that you
lawn.
are. We love you.
All right.
Love you too.
For the Tim and Jenn Show, we'd like to thank
Thank you,
Lux
guys.
Media.
Thank you guys for tuning
Chris,
in.
Our sponsors. Thanks for tuning in. You can check us next week. We're out of
Thank you
here.
right here.
Peace.
We want to talk to you about Clean Cause, better caffeine. What's in the can? Our organic, sparkling Herba Mate is a premium pick-me-up that won't let you down. Every can of Clean Cause contains 160 milligrams of better caffeine, and each sip supports recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. 50% of the profits go to assist people into sober living. Check out cleancause.com.
Seaside Palm Beach is an executive luxury addiction treatment center located in Palm Beach, Florida. Our private clients come from all over the world, including business executives, professional athletes, celebrities, and more. Seaside Palm Beach offers first-class amenities and high-end accommodations, including a gourmet culinary experience, ocean views, pet-friendly facilities, and access to cell phones and laptops during your stay. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, please call us at 877-959-5053. Again, that number is 877-959-5053.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the market.